Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video, and this one's gonna be different. So, as you can see, I have kinda set up a overlay thing that was actually meant to be used for live streams. And this video is sorta supposed to be like a test run for that. Because, well, it's not a live stream. And you can also see the voltage readout and set thing in the EVC software isn't hooked up. Yeah. So if I hooked up the card correctly, you would be seeing a voltage readout for core and memory, and we could also like set the voltage a bit using the EVC that isn't hooked up right now. Like the card is completely unmodified. This is just a random 8800 GT. It doesn't even run at like full PCIe lanes. It only runs at 4 lanes because there's a damaged data pin that I first have to like repair. So yeah. What basically I want to do is just figure out what kind of clocks it gets, admittedly with unmodified, like without overvolting, so it's at stock voltage. But yeah. And also I would have, like, where the logo is right now, I would have, like, a test bench cam, which is also not set up right now. So, like, it's still testing phase. I just want to make sure that, like, everything works. Because the setup is interesting, like, using OBS and stuff. And also my microphone is interesting. I'm using my phone. I'm streaming via Bluetooth the audio to my PC, which is then going into RTX Voice, which is then filtering out the phase change noise, which seems to be working pretty well. I just think the audio quality in general is gonna be pretty bad, which I will accept for a live stream. I'm probably not gonna use the setup for any other like main channel videos. So because it's just like a test run, yeah. Because like I've been meaning to like maybe live stream a cheap ass chips session. Or maybe something else when I like overclock something else that's interesting Sub-Zero. But yeah. Also, we have a working GPU temperature sensor because this is like, it was like basically spot on, like basically 2 degrees hotter all the way down while cooling down than the evaporator temp. And like right now, like under load, it's sitting very steadily at like -48. And my evaporator temp is like at -54, 53. So it seems I have a pretty good mount here today. Not that, well, the G92 puts out a lot of heat. But yeah, so. This is on Hynix memory. The other 8800 GT I have is on Qimonda, which I've heard is bad. Let's see if that works. Okay, it just does. Let's leave it here for a minute. And yeah, no way, we have to extend shader for that. Boom. Oh, it didn't like that. Oh, it really didn't like that. Okay, this might be a very short video because apparently this thing needs a lot of voltage. Yeah, now it's like -53 if it's not under load. Evaporator temp is reading -53.8. So pretty good contact, I assume. I got some new mounting hardware, like, well, not really. I've been using the, I should maybe like put it in different clocks because it's just gonna crash again. At least you don't have to restart the system when it crashes. That's a very annoying thing with the 200 series. Wait, what did it go to? Oh, 810 is just okay. So let's try. Actually, you only need 14. Yeah, 1500 is stock. So let's try 700 on the core. Yeah, actually, I think I remember that the shader clock. Well, I mean, this is Tesla, right? I think this is Tesla. I can't tap out of the window because that will reduce my FPS that I get to check. But I think this is Tesla. Like the NVIDIA Tesla had was used like a lot of things, like 88, like 8000 series, 9000 series, GTX 200 series. Also the like not sort of non-existent GTX 300 series, which is basically just OEM brands. And then there's like the two different flavors. There's like 65 nanometer and 55 nanometer Tesla. I think this is 65 because it's like older than 200 series. 200 series is like what transitioned, I think. But yeah. Like, we did the NVS 300 for cheap-ass chips round 1. And on those, well, we are at like, if you can believe the readout in software, at 1.05 volts. Which I tend to believe. I don't think these ran at very high voltage, because they, like, judging... Well, I didn't get my cards with heatsinks on them, but looking at images of the heatsinks online, and also looking at what kind of VRMs and VRM cooling these came with, I don't think these pull a lot of power stock. So like 1 volt stock volt is quite believable on these. So yeah. But what I remember from cheap-ass chips round 1, which was an NVS 300, which is also Tesla. I don't remember which nanometers it was. But what I noticed on these is that, like, I've been told, like, basically, I've always been told when going sub-zero that, like, yeah, you run, like, 1.6 to 1.8 volts. Depending on, like, how much, like, you won't run 1.8 volts on phase change on, like, a really big die, but, like, on the small ones, yeah, you could. But what I remember on these is that, actually, I saw better clocks at, like, lower voltages, around the, like, 1.2, 1.3 range. And the shader clock went really, really high. And I don't know if the shader clock actually cared about voltage. I don't think it does. Because on GTX 200 series, the shader clock also doesn't seem to improve with voltage. Not a whole lot, at least. It seems to be just core, and then shader just is temperature dependent. Though that might just be true to an extent, because like I haven't done that much testing yet. The GTX 260 comp is still... Like, I mean, more people have been getting their cards, and I'm basically ready to go. Like, who else has his cards? Tomy has his cards, who is the person that the comp was actually made for, because, like, he's getting into extreme overclocking, and he managed to buy some 260s, so we were just like, oh, these things are cheap, let's just get some more and have a little friendly competition. There's a card for Deeper that I still have right here that I haven't sent out to him yet, along with his 970 some RAM and a 4350, so I can also do cheap as. Then FZR Don't Die X had a 260. I don't know if he still has a 260, because I know at least one of them died. Famine has a 260. I'm not sure if Salty has a 260 yet. But, like, people have been getting their 260s, and I've been asked multiple times by other people from, like, HWBot if they can join in. Which I'm inclined to say yes, but I don't know what the others are saying. Like, I'm not the boss of this comp. It's like a mutual thing between us all. So... Does this apply? Oh, wait, you can... Wait, never mind, I'm dumb, it's 1500. Yeah, of course this works. Yeah, so, like, I'm inclined to say yes, you can join the comp, because, like, so what we've been planning for 260 comp is, it was supposed to be, like, a smaller comp between just few of us, because we didn't think people would be very interested in it. And very early on, we chose the benchmark to run is what I'm doing right now, which is Unigine Tropics, which is similar to Heaven, but only has 10 scenes, not 26, so it's a lot quicker to run. And it's also a bit older, so like you get, like what I really don't like about Chivas is just like you get like 1 FPS in the bench and it's just a total slideshow. This one's at least okay to look at. And on 260s you get like 50 FPS, I think. But yeah, like very early on we chose to run this benchmark. And it's a nice benchmark. I don't want to change it. I don't think the others want to change it either. But the problem that this has is this benchmark is not on HWBot. So if we would have people join in, like a lot of people, like people from outside, if we get like 10 people or more, keeping track of scores is gonna be Oh, and it crashed. It's gonna be like really difficult because we can't do it through HWBot because it's not on HWBot. So that's kind of the problem we had, and we decided. Okay, let's do 10 less because it got kind of far into it already. I just want to max out the core now, and then see about the shader later, and then the memory. Yeah, so what we decided is to like have the comp split, if that's possible, that is. Because like like Tech Tested has his Athlon comp running right now, which I don't know how much time is left. I've been meaning to like join in, but like I haven't done any research yet on like what CPU to run and like what boards to get and stuff. And I'm also my keyboard just broke and I had to buy a new one, so my budget is basically empty for like the rest of the month. There were new months coming up in like a week, so yeah. But yeah, so what we've been planning is like, Tech Tested has his comp like officially on HWBot hosted. And we've been thinking of just like, once Cheapass round 2 is over, we could maybe do the same thing, just like ask HWBot, hey, we've been thinking of this comp and we have a like non-inconsequential amount of people who would also be interested in participating. Could we maybe make this like an official HWBot thing for everybody to join in? And if they say yes, then we would have that run in parallel with our Tropics thing. And then the Tropics thing is probably just gonna be like between us, like small group, and then the HWBot thing is gonna be available to just everyone who wants to join in. So we would be doing that. And what we've been thinking of for the HWBot comp, since we can't do Tropics, is I think we had a little vote. I don't know if I don't think everybody voted in the end. Oh wait, now it's because of FPS. But like we had a little vote, which there wasn't that much participation in, but we in the end chose to have Heaven and Vantage as the benchmarks. And then like a ambient and sub-zero variant of both. So basically the comp would have 4 stages. The first one's just gonna be like Heaven ambient and Vantage ambient, and then the second one would be Heaven sub-zero and Vantage sub-zero would be the stages. Because like our private Tropics thing is also gonna have like different stages. Like it's gonna have even more stages. Like the first one's just basically what I'm doing now, like unmodified card. And we have to run at ambient. What I'm doing right now is sub-zero, but like you have to run the card at ambient. You're not allowed to like modify the PCB. No, actually, I think for the first comp you even have to be on air cooling. Like I'm not entirely sure. We wrote it down somewhere, and it might still change. But I think the first stage we've been planning was like the card has to be on air. Like air cooling, either stock air cooling or like one of the custom ones, because like maybe your cooler's broken or like you get a card without a heatsink. But yeah, it has to be on air cooling, and the PCB like you're not allowed to modify it. Like you're not allowed to like volt mod it, or cap mod it. So yeah, and the second stage would be still ambient, but water cooling and modding is allowed. And then the third stage would be everything allowed, so like you can go sub-zero. And I'm not entirely sure if we're gonna allow BIOS modding for stage 1. Probably only for stage 2, because I think we can mod the memory timings on these. So yeah. But that's kind of what we've been planning, because like the comp was made, so like, I've been talking about like, how like Tommy's a new person that's like in our group kind of like hanging around the Discord a lot. And the comp was the main goal of the comp was to like make him have a little bit fun, like doing some overclocking, like having a little bit, how like the original like RipGN, RipJ thing was just kind of like, yeah, let's try a couple like small things to like push it a little bit further, and then as time goes on, we put more and more effort into it. So yeah, because like, well, he's not gonna be able to compete stage 3. Sub-Zero is probably just gonna be a thing between like me, Salty, FZR, and like maybe one other person. But I mean, yeah, you gotta go Sub-Zero at some point. Just like, yeah, but not everybody can go Sub-Zero because like there's an upfront cost for like a phase change in LN2 pots, and there's even like a just to run it cost. Like phase change relatively little, just costs power. I've calculated it. Like it costs me like I think 20 cents per hour to run this thing, which isn't all that much considering how much LN2 and dry ice costs. So that's like the main reason why I went for phase change. It's just really, really cheap to run, and you don't have to like wait for delivery to run it. You can just hook it up to power and it works. Okay, 658. I actually should keep track of the scores. So 730 core works. Okay. 1600. Actually, like, how far does the shader go? Because it might go really, really far. Also, the steps are, like, really big. Does it... Yeah, 1728 is another step. That's still 1728. 1782. Still 1782. 1836. 1890. Okay, now I'm seeing some artifact. That was just some artifact in there. Okay, let's just try to... Yeah. So I guess 1890 is where we sort of get close to stability. Let's see if it's like still runs and just artifacts, or if it's like actually gonna crash at some point. So Shader didn't actually go as far as I hoped, because I've seen like... I don't remember what card it was on that where I saw it, but Shader went to like 2400. I think that was on Seku's to NVS 300. Like his card had an amazing core and shader clock. Like he should have won round 1. Like actually, he should have just, well, at least he would have gotten third place, first and second place in round 1 were modded memory timings. I was third place, and didn't have modded memory timings because I don't know how it works actually. I still have to learn that. But like, yeah, so Seku's card, amazing core, and then the memory was just a total, like, just sad. Because, like, his card was on Hynix memory. I don't remember which chip, but his card was on Hynix memory, and it just didn't work Sub-Zero. Like, he was running stock memory. Because not even 10 megahertz more would work. Okay, and this also doesn't work. So let's back off the shader. Actually, this might have been core crashing. Yeah, let's actually take 10 off the core and just like push it back to 730 if we feel like pushing it for score. I mean, score's gonna be trash. It's running at 4x. So, wait, 1836? Oh yeah, 1890. We were 1890, so let's run this. But yeah, so like, I feel really bad for him because his card had a really, really good core, and his memory wouldn't even run 10 megahertz above stock. Like, it would run fine memory clocks at ambient, but Sub-Zero, these Hynix chips just refused to work. Which is kind of a trend. Like, the red 4350 that I modded, also Hynix chips, also didn't work Sub-Zero. That one even worse. It didn't even run stock at Sub-Zero. Like, the card straight up stopped working. You couldn't run it anymore, Sub-Zero. So, like, effectively, it had a cold bug. So, yeah, like, it's kind of weird. Like, this card is also on Hynix chips, and this one's fine. I don't know what sort of ambient clocks it does, but at least 100 works. Which I think is, yeah, this is GDDR3, like I think big G DDR3. And that seems to be fine when it comes to Hynix, because I also had that on my 280, and that one was also fine Sub-Zero. But if it's like little GDDR3, or just DDR3 or DDR2 Hynix, you probably want to avoid that Sub-Zero. Like, I'm not saying that every single chip is not gonna work, but so far, all of them haven't worked for me. So So either your overclocking is gonna be trash or it just straight up won't work. Yeah. But this one seems to be doing fine. I don't know if the Commander one works. I've just heard that the Commander one's just overall bad. And that sadly you get it on most 8800 GTs, which is why I'm running this one. I had like the red one I have is actually core vault modded. So that one might have been a bit more interesting, but it has the bad memory. So I chose to run this one. Also because this one I don't think I've actually ever run this one outside of like seeing if it works. Because like these two cards are from a stack of graphics cards that I got a while back. Did it just crash? Oh, it just crashed. Okay, so what was it now? Because we went both lower on... Well, actually, we were at 730 mem. So it was... So it was core. Okay, let's just do 700 core to stay safe. So we can probably push 900 shader again. So let's check before I start. Is this... Oh, it doesn't say which nanometers it is. 65, okay, so it's the older kind. So core is not gonna crash us now. Like, yeah, we actually went colder. We're not 49 now. Because, like, today I actually have a decent ambient temperature at 20. Like, you would be surprised how much, like, 3 degrees of ambient temperature do to this phase change. Right now I'm at 25 degrees ambient, and it's, like, pretty good, like, minus 50, 52.6 at the evaporator right now, and, like, holding very steady, like, minus 48. Crossing over into minus 49 territory on the evaporator, on the die, and we crashed again. So it is shader. So 1836 it is. That should work. Okay, let's see about the memory. I kind of have a feeling that 1100 is just gonna... Actually, I don't know. If it's GDDR3, like big G... Like, I mean, this GPU-Z always says big G, even with the little G ones. But the little GDDR3 does like 1100. Oh, this one does 1100 too. Does it do 1200? It does. Does it do 1300? Okay. Does it just do max? I have to unlock... Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, it's unhappy now. It's really unhappy. Is it gonna, like... Oh, it's just completely frozen now. Oh, wait. It's moving again. Come on, card. Just reset yourself. Or do I actually have to press... I think I have to press the reset button. Now we find out if it has a cold boot bug. It's an NVIDIA card. It probably doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay. That's like a huge problem with AMD cards, like 28 nanometer AMD cards. The Terascale ones, at least the cheap-ass chips ones, boot just fine cold. Actually, where's my OS? Card? What are you doing? What's postcode saying AE? Hello? Keyboard's still reacting to like caps lock and stuff. I'm just not seeing an image. Press reset again. I don't like it posted the BIOS screen. Like you get the VBIOS screen and then it shows this. So where's my Windows? Uh, what? Or is it having like post issues? Do I need to like go into BIOS and select the SSD properly? Because it might be trying to like post off a USB stick. Let's go into BIOS and check. Yeah, BIOS. Oh, cool. Now I see it on my screen. So now it is selecting the correct drive. Uh, just to boot override, I guess. Like we get this little space thing there for a second, and now it's just, huh. So I'm not sure if that's like an issue with the card right now, or if that's just like a Windows issue. Because like it's posting, or does it have like, or did like moisture get somewhere, and when it tries to load the GPU drivers, it crashes? Because like the card's completely uninsulated, like there's no insulation on this thing. Like the memory chips are pretty far away though. Like that crash that we saw was very, very much memory. Like we just pushed memory too. So I'm just uh, like NVIDIA Inspector doesn't save clock states. You have to like apply it every single time you load Windows. So it's not like it's crashing when it loads Windows from that. Okay, let's try just a complete cold start. If that doesn't work, then we might be SOL here. Because if it's just not booting, then, well, that would be bad. So I'm getting B2. Its capture card's already showing the BIOS splash screen, so. We get Windows now? That looks like a no. So that's a bit anticlimactic. I guess we're done. So I didn't really find out where the memory tops out. Found out where the core and the shader tops out. Okay. Um, yeah. I don't think we're gonna get a boot here. So I don't really have a choice. I have to end it here. Oh, actually, a sub 40-minute video this time. So actually, this kind of plays into my favor because like it's just test video. So I must shut this down. Um, just well, you can't see anything right now because there's no webcam set up. Just taking the card out of the motherboard so the ice don't melt and drip down into the PCI Express slot. Okay. So yeah, card's hanging now. Guess I could take a quick picture, man, for the thumbnail. Okay. I took a couple of pictures. Maybe one of them's a thumbnail. Because we're not seeing anything on the webcam. Yeah, the pizza espresso, it got a bit cold, but that there's no moisture in there. Yeah, I don't know what happened then. Like maybe moisture somewhere on the card. That's just kind of the thing that you're setting yourself up for if you don't insulate. Um, or just maybe the card has like cold boot bug issues, though I don't think it does. Like it's posting to BIOS. It should be going into Windows. I don't know. Maybe our Windows install just died. It happens. Anyway, so yeah, this is kind of the setup that you're gonna see for live streams when I do them. With like the change that the EVC software is actually gonna show something, and instead of my logo, you're gonna have like a little webcam view of the test bench. Other than that, yeah. So this is the part where I thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the test run. I don't know when the actual live stream is gonna be. It's just like I could set it like I need to set some things up, but like I can live stream now. I have better internet and stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you really like this, then I guess you're gonna love the live streams. So see you then. Bye.